Caribbean is not one place. At first glance, this looks like a scattered collection of islands floating in blue, but the Caribbean is not random, and it is not unified. This map shows a region shaped by plates, currents, trade winds, and empires, where geography fragments power instead of concentrating it. To understand the Caribbean, you do not start with borders or flags, you start with shape and alignment. Everything here stretches, arcs, or fractures for a reason. The basin, a sea that behaves like a system. Zoom out and look at the water itself. The Caribbean Sea is enclosed on three sides: North America to the north, and South America to the south, and Central America to the west. This makes it less an open ocean and more a contained basin. That containment amplifies trade routes, storms, and naval strategy. Ships entering this basin do not drift randomly, they follow the predictable paths shaped by currents and winds. This is why the islands here matter far more than the land area suggests. Cuba, the gatekeeper island. Now move west to the largest landmass on the map, Cuba, as you can see here. Cuba sits at the mouth of the Caribbean like a lid. To its north is the open Atlantic, to its west is the Gulf of Mexico, to its south begins the island chain. This position makes Cuba a gatekeeper. Historically and geographically, whoever controls Cuba influences access between major maritime worlds. Notice its elongated shape that allows multiple ports, multiple coastlines, and internal diversity. Cuba is not just large, it is strategically wide. The Bahamas, shallow water power. Shift north to the Bahamas. These islands look insignificant on land maps, but the key here is not land, it is depth. The Bahamas sit atop shallow banks that restrict large ships. Historically, this turned the Bahamas into navigational filters, pirate havens, and trade checkpoints. Control here was about knowledge, not force. This is a reminder that maps showing only land hide half the story. Now, Jamaica and the Western Caribbean core. Drop south to the Jamaica and Cayman Islands. Jamaica sits centrally within the Western Caribbean, equidistant from Central America, Cuba, and Hispaniola. That centrality made it a logistical anchor for empire. Notice how Jamaica is compact, mountainous, and clearly defined. That geography favors internal cohesion and strong port cities rather than fragmented microstates. The Western Caribbean is about depth and centrality, not island chains. Hispaniola, the one island, two outcomes. Now focus on Hispaniola, shared by Haiti and Dominican Republic. This is one island with radically different trajectories. The mountains here are high, the interior is rugged, and arable land is unevenly distributed. Geography did not determine history alone, but it sets constraints. Where ports faced outward and valleys connected inward, states stabilized. Where isolation dominated, fragility followed. This island shows how shared geography does not guarantee shared outcomes. Puerto Rico, the connector node. Now, moving east to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico sits where the Greater Antilles give way to the Lesser Antilles. This makes it a natural connector, bridging large islands and small ones, Atlantic and Caribbean. Its compact shape and deep harbors favors centralized infrastructure. This is not a fragmented island, it is a node. Maps like this reveal why Puerto Rico consistently appears in shipping, military, and communication networks far beyond its size. The Lesser Antilles and a volcanic arc. Now, following the sweeping curves south and east through the Lesser Antilles. These islands are not scattered, they form a volcanic arc. These islands are not scattered, they form a volcanic arc, making the boundary between tectonic plates that geology explains their small size, steep terrain, and linear alignment. Each island is limited in space but rich in maritime access. This produces microeconomies, intense competition, and strong outward orientation. Here, survival has always depended on connection, not expansion. Fragmentation as a political reality. Now look closely at the names in the arc. You see St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada, and many more. Each island is a political unit because geography made integration difficult. Distance over water, even short distance, multiplies cost. The Caribbean did not fragment because of culture alone, it fragmented because water separates more effectively than land. The Southern Caribbean, South American gravity. Move south towards Trinidad and Tobago and the ABC Islands. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. Here the Caribbean begins to feel South American. Currents, trades, and proximity pull these islands into a different orbit. Trinidad especially sits almost at the continent, on the continent. Its economy, energy resources, and demographics reflect that closeness. This edge on the map shows that the Caribbean is not uniform. It fades into other worlds. Trade winds, routes, and repetition. Zooming out again, the alignment of islands follow wind and current patterns that repeat year after year. The repetition created predictable shipping lanes, colonial routes, and cultural exchange. Music, language, food, and migration in the Caribbean follow these invisible lines more than political borders. This is why the region feels connected, despite fragmentation. Closing, a region defined by water. The Caribbean is often described as islands surrounded by sea. This map suggests the opposite. The sea is the structure, the islands are interruptions. Once you see that, the region stops looking chaotic and starts looking inevitable. Also, just to mention, this map was created by Maps&Locations. And if you want a map created just like this one or even a better one, reach out to mapsandlocations.com and we will help you craft the perfect map for your needs. And yeah, this is the Caribbean, all about how we created the Caribbean and different parts of the Caribbean islands. And hope you enjoyed this video. Do subscribe, do like the video, and reach out if you want a custom map well. Thank you for watching. Look out for the next one. Peace.